Hello. Today I will be talking about the difference between the sports culture abroad, specifically Barcelona, and the sports culture in the United States. There are many differences, but first I want to get into the preconceived notions that I had about sports in Europe before I went abroad. When it comes to sports, Americans have a specific set of standards and preferences, and these are dominated by the four major sports: football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. These sports are deeply rooted in American culture, with the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL taking over the sports market and having teams in all of the major cities across the United States. There are other professional sports in America, but they are not nearly as followed or as popular as the main four shown here. Soccer is one of the other professional sports that is not as big but is growing in the United States. Growing up, I played soccer, but I never followed the sport on a professional level. I would play a soccer game on a Sunday morning and then go watch NFL football for the rest of the day, where I would root for my favorite team, the Chicago Bears. I thought of soccer as a fun sport and more of a hobby, rather than putting it on the same level as football or baseball or basketball. The scale of American sports was the biggest thing in the world to me. There are multiple college stadiums in the US that hold over 100,000 people. The professional stadiums for sports are also big and hold massive crowds. And the parades for teams that win championships are attended by millions who live in that city, and most people take the day off. So for me, there was nothing bigger and more grand than professional sports in America. I always knew about professional soccer, and I always assumed it was similar to the NFL, but just in Europe. And I assumed each big city in Europe had their own team, and they treated it kind of like their own football team. I knew of the big clubs like FC Barcelona and Manchester United, and I knew of the big name players like Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. But other than that, I didn't know much about their sport. As I talked about earlier, for a long time, soccer was considered a niche sport in the United States and pretty small compared to the rest of the sports in the States. And considering how popular soccer was outside of the United States, it was clear that it was not as big in the US. While the sport usually had a good following with its youth leagues in the United States with a lot of kids playing it, it couldn't capture the same level as of intensity as the NFL or the NBA. However, the success of European soccer leagues such as English the England's Premier League or Spain's La Liga has sparked the interest of American sports fans as of recently. Many Americans are now starting to get into European soccer and appreciating the sport. I believe that the rise of social media and services played a big role in this trend. American fans can now easily access European soccer matches and follow their favorite teams and engage with fans worldwide. This has increased the accessibility and has opened the door for Americans to appreciate the cultural and regional aspects of European sports that there really isn't in the United States. After finding out I was going to be studying abroad in Barcelona, I was eager to learn more about the sports culture in their city. So I did research, and I wanted to get to know about the sports in Barcelona. When discussing European sports and how Americans perceive them, it's almost impossible to ignore Barcelona and its sports scene. Barcelona is the capital of Catalonia, and it is a sports powerhouse, especially in soccer. The city is home to FC Barcelona, one of the most famous and successful soccer clubs in the world. And FC Barcelona has a massive following both in Europe and internationally, with a growing number of American fans. The team's success in its home league, La Liga, and the European League, the Champions League, as well as its roster of global superstars such as Lionel Messi, have helped elevate its profile in the United States and globally. Many American soccer fans view FC Barcelona as a symbol of European soccer excellence. The team's unique style of play, known as tiki taka, which is short passing at a high rate, has garnered a lot of admiration for fans across the world for the interesting tactical side of their game. American fans are also drawn to the club's rich history. The club is seen as representing Catalan culture and identity, which adds a political and cultural dimension that many Americans find intriguing but confusing. Having not experienced that culture yet, I didn't really understand that side of the team and how a soccer team could affect a team and a region's politics because I hadn't lived there yet. After having been enriched in the soccer culture in Barcelona and studying abroad after 4 months and attending 2 soccer games, I became much more aware of how big of a deal a soccer team was to the community. FC Barcelona holds a special place in the hearts of both the city of Barcelona and the people of Catalonia. More than just a soccer team, FC Barcelona is deeply intertwined with the region's identity, culture, and politics, symbolizing much more than just an athletic team. Historically, FC Barcelona has been a symbol of Catalan nationalism, especially during periods when Catalan culture and language were suppressed. During my classes, I learned a lot about Francisco Franco's dictatorship in Spain, which occurred from 1939 until 1975. During this time, Catalonia was subject to harsh cultural and political repression. Catalan identity was marginalized, and the Catalan language was even banned to use in public, making it difficult for people to express their regional pride in their culture. But during this time, FC Barcelona became a focal point of resistance for Catalans. The club's matches would provide a rare space where Catalan culture could be celebrated openly. While fans watched soccer, they also chanted in Catalan, waved Catalan flags, and expressed their desire for their own country and their region. Supporting FC Barcelona wasn't just about enjoying the sport, it was an act of defiance against political oppression, and it was a statement of Catalan identity. But beyond politics and culture, FC Barcelona serves as a unifying force for the people of Barcelona and in the region of Catalonia. Supporting the team brings together individuals from different social classes, professions, backgrounds. The collective support for FC Barcelona crosses social and economic boundaries, creating a strong sense of community among the fans. One of my favorite experiences with this and while studying abroad was when I went to a local bar to watch one of Barcelona's big games. It's really packed, I barely got in, and everyone there was decked out in their Barcelona gear. They were screaming for every goal, and they even played the team's theme song after every goal. You could just tell how passionate the fans were by being in their presence. This communal experience strengthened the bond between the club and its supporters, and it makes FC Barcelona not only a sports team, but an integral part of everyday life for Barcelona and the citizens living there. Overall, there is a big cultural divide between American sports and European sports, specifically Barcelona. American sports fans are passionate, but for most fans, their team is something they root for on the weekends, and then during the week they go back to their normal jobs and don't think much of it. In Europe and in Barcelona, their soccer teams just mean a little more to them. Their teams represent their culture, their identity. And I feel as if the teams to them mean more than the teams do to us here in America. But in the end, both fans and teams are great and are passionate about what they stand for. And it was very interesting trying to find the differences and similarities between them. Thank you.